Hey y'all, Boogie Night here. Look who I found.
I used to be invisible.
Not anymore. This is Neo Sonic, aka the Sonic and Sonic Boogie Reviews, and he is no longer a MacGuffin. He actually does exist.
Cheers.
Before we get started on the review, just a quick recap on my Clickbait For Cause campaign last week. Thank you guys so much for those of y'all who participated, all half a dozen of you. I was actually able to raise $52 for the One Orlando Fund, which I'm going to round up to a cool $60 because it seems like a nice round number.
High five.
It would have been a lot more, but I got quite a few comments that are lose the hat. Well, that ain't going to happen. That's strictly cosmetics, so go to hell. Plus, for my first charity campaign, plus I'm not rolling in the money like Elon Musk, so I don't think it was too bad of a cause. So keep in mind, keep posted. There's going to be more of these. I'm going to try and do them once a month. So that being said, let's get into a review because we saw Lights Out the other day, and I had chili the night before, so that's twice in 24 hours I shit my pants.
Yeah, and I actually planned this ahead. I brought a second pair of underpants just in case. About halfway through with that big scare that happened, I go to the bathroom, pull out that second pair. It had already crapped itself. That's how good this movie was.
This movie was easily 4 out of 5 pairs of brown underpants.
Yeah, this was darn near a 5-panther there.
That was damn close. I mean, if you want to go see a good horror movie, particularly if you know you're going to a James Wan, you need to bring like a pair of throwaway skivvies, like no doubt, like the Scott single ply pair.
By the way, movie innovation time. Please, theaters, have some toilets that are actually seats in the theaters. So if you feel like that's going to happen, just sit in that seat for the next 10 minutes.
Even if it's the pay-as-you-go, pun intended. Tish. So
That's a good idea.
it really is. I mean, we can make money off it. This is a grassroots campaign. It's going to spread like diarrhea.
Let's hope not, but at the same time, let's hope.
Because that would be good for horror movies.
Yeah.
So, first of all, to get the numbers out of the way, for those that are just focused on statistics, you know who you are. Rotten Tomatoes gave us 89%, with the critics giving it 89 and viewers giving it 88. So that's a really, really tight streak of those that like this movie. It even outranked Star Trek Beyond on the first day. Now, I haven't looked at the numbers today.
Right. Well, this wasn't nearly as good a sci-fi movie as I thought it was. Oh, wait, that's the wrong category?
Yeah, exactly.
Dang it.
Oh,
All right, we're getting back on track.
okay,
here.
so we watched the movie.
Scary movie.
Very scary movie.
Scary? Yeah, that's what it was.
And first of all, with James Wan, you're going into an actually good flick. I mean, Amityville Horror, Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, even Annabelle, which was kind of like the Kirk Cameron, I guess you could say, of horror movies. It was still
it was
good.
really preaching to me.
It really was. But I mean, Possession, come on, Jesuits, there you go. But people are comparing this to The Conjuring, or The Conjuring 2, and yeah, Conjuring 2 came out, about 6-7 months ago, I guess?
Yeah. Either way, that was probably after the time period of this specific hat that I'm wearing right now. This is the 2015 NBA champion Golden State Warriors hat, because I was wishing I could go back to that time before I saw this movie. Now, that doesn't mean that this was a bad movie. Again, it's hard to go wrong with that extremely high Rotten Tomatoes rating, but I wish I could go back in time and not see it anyway, because it haunted my dreams.
He was sleeping with the lineup for a couple of days, at least that's what he was telling me.
Got bags under my eyes, and they're cosmetic. I was trying to look older preemptively, but it didn't work out very well at all with the ladies, no.
So that's why he slept with the light on, from what you told me.
Oh, yes.
There you go. But anyways, if you're going in looking for possession film, or even something like Annabelle, don't do this. You've got to take it from an outside perspective, because this is definitely of the demon haunted house in a whole different format. And it really started as a meme on Facebook, I think, from about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
I saw it on the the Horror Lovers page.
Right. If you have a middle schooler that you know, ask them, but do not do it in the middle school parking lot if you're a stranger.
Yeah.
You don't know them.
Nor do they know you.
Right.
And that's a different kind of jump scare.
Right. So, different kind of scare. Be sure that you know this person before you ask them, what was this meme? Then they'll know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Slender Man thing. Only without the murder that happened afterward.
That's actually a really good comparison to Slender Man concept to go along with this, because it really is kind of the same thing. Shadow Demon, Slender Man. I mean, they
You could have swore you saw it out of the corner of your eye, but you're not so sure.
Could you imagine the kids they had if they hooked up? Things that make you go. Ugh.
That actually might be a model in 20 years, though. Modeling has been changing lately.
We really should contact James Wan for like the seed of the Slender Man and Diana.
That's a very hot scene. See, that changes the movie completely. That becomes like a tender, soft love scene.
Slender lights the porno.
Yeah.
So we watched the movie.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, we did. First of all, don't let the first 5 minutes of the movie spoil you or make you think that this is just another garden of overused tropes or cliches, because it's not.
Even though every single one of them is in there.
Oh, extremely, but it's not.
I work in a warehouse, so I'm going to have every light off except for only the ominous-looking ones.
Well, of course. I mean, the first 5 minutes it's more like just tropes used in like an old school like survival horror shooter game like Doom 3, for example. And honestly, the characters you don't really care about, let's be honest, because you know they're cannon fodder right out of the gate.
Not one of them has a BFG to take out anything. It's ridiculous.
Or even the Soul Cube.
Come on, you could just throw that at them and game over.
I mean, you could use it like a Beyblade, let it rip.
Right. So nothing happens except for a lot of running and a lot of being very scared all of a sudden.
But once you get into it, and I mean, of course the plot is fairly predictable, but you don't watch it just for the plot, you watch it for the character development. I mean, you have Maria Bello as like, psycho woman until you figure out what's actually wrong with her. You got
that was a very interesting character.
Maria Bello was fantastic.
That was amazing.
She's a really good actress. I think the only person that could be better than that was if you had Vera Farmiga from The Conjuring.
That wouldn't be too bad either.
Actually,
but then you'd be like, oh, horror movie chick from now on. Forget about it.
Yeah, but you look at what's her name for all the Chris Nolan movies and Batman and what's it called?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
No, not Michelle Pfeiffer.
Dang it.
I know. Marion Cotillard.
Yes. Cotillard.
Cotillard. Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, there's no problem with having Vera Farmiga as like the stable actress from a James Wan movie because you know she's going to do a good job.
Right.
But
did you consider that call to have her in there be just a total wild card thing, or was she made for this part?
Well, Maria Bello plays like the emotionally unstable person to begin with. I think she does a fantastic job at that. I just, after seeing The Conjurings and Annabelle and seeing her as the Warren.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm glad James Wan has a stable of actors and actresses.
Right, but she built something into this. I mean, I was genuinely sad at a certain point in that movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you start out thinking she's just mentally unstable, and then you learn there's this whole, I guess, demonic leash attached to her. And then her two kids, I mean, you've got, I guess, what was this? I'm just going to call him son brother because there's no other explanation for that.
Right.
And then Rebecca, the daughter, who is the rebel child, who you think is just your stereotypical D-bag, hard-assed, I'm going to live my life and, screw what everyone else says.
Again, weird casting with the ages on that one.
I think it was done right, though. I mean, the son was probably, what, I guess maybe 8 or 9? He was probably in 3rd or 4th grade.
I'd give him 10 or 11. A magic time.
And she was in her 20s.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you look at, you think about a Catholic family for a second here.
Oh, yeah.
And there's
oh, boyos, I remember.
Every sperm is sacred.
But I'm a Protestant. So I can put one of those things on.
Get some French ticklers. Wow. So, but you have her as the rebel child, and then I think probably my favorite character was probably the boy toy.
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey's long-lost twin brother.
Exactly.
Where did they find that guy?
He's not even on Wikipedia.
He half-lapsed into a McConaughey accent by accident twice.
I was half expecting him at one point to go, all right.
I get older, these ghosts stay the same age. Yes, they do.
Fast and you, baby. But I just loved how he had this whole, like, I'm not going to go any... Like, it was the rough-edged, like, D-bag with a heart of gold. I mean, he had this rough and tumble, tattoos, grizzled...
He had tattoos, so he's bad.
Oh, yeah. But, like, he had the grizzled rebel thing going on, the leather jacket. Like, he was probably listening to, like, the Misfits or, like, Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein.
Right. He was 2 days out of the Grecian Formula commercial, so he looked a little bit ragged.
He was probably going to be, like, the next Ben-Hur movie.
Right.
But he had a heart of gold to him, and he was doing everything he could to be a part of Rebecca, I don't know her actress's name, I apologize, her life, and she wasn't letting it, and you kind of didn't like her in the beginning, but the more the movie got on and you had the character development, the more you're actually like, okay, this is why she's doing it.
Yeah, I truly believed in their relationship.
I mean, shoot, I was the same way when I moved down here a year ago. I had my walls up.
Yeah.
I wasn't being haunted by ghosts or demons, but
yeah,
I was haunted by DC.
Well, as
Sorry,
long as
y'all.
you keep that one closet in your apartment closed, then everything's fine.
I guess I was doing it wrong then.
Yeah, and see, I leave my lights on all the time, so I never had any of these crazy situations happen.
That's why your wife doesn't get any sleep.
That's not the only reason.
Sorry, Jenny.
Hey.
But anyways, plot-wise, you think Maria Bella's character is crazy, and then you learn more about this mystical MacGuffin known as Diana. And you don't think about it much until the plot gets further along, and Rebecca, whatever the actress's name is, actually knows what's going on. And
I had a little bit of a problem with the way that this worked. And it's your typical scare creature where they don't quite bring it out of the shadows, so you're kind of wondering what it's going to look like, but if they showed it to you, you'd be like, oh, that's just stupid CGI, who cares? But it's just scary enough because it's something that could be incorporated into your own nightmares. The problem I had with it is they tried too hard to bring it to real and then bring it back out of real.
in the first half.
And how did the physics work on this? There's a whole bunch of questions involved in that, and basically maybe this was more of a sci-fi movie than it could have been just based on those questions alone. But the point is, everything, the way that they put it together scared the crap out of you.
Well, I think the first half, they were just trying to keep the plot going by having, there was the one scene when Boyman was in front of the window in the house, and then there was just in the patch of shadows, Diana was there, and you knew that was going to happen. So the first half is kind of a bunch of jump scares to some degree.
But they built those scenes very well.
Extremely. There was suspense, and that's what James Wan does that a lot of horror directors don't do. It's called pacing.
Right. And
it's immersion.
It wasn't just pull shots. It wasn't just zooming in. It wasn't that ominous creep to it. It was a lot more than that.
There was the one scene when Rebecca goes in her old bedroom to look for kind of evidence about maybe there's more stuff going on about this Diana person. And you kind of think that there's something going to happen, but then you don't think it's going to happen to her. It's going to flash cut to something else.
Right.
And then the door shuts, and then you hear Diana talking in what can only be described as the fireplace from Amityville Horror, that whole "get out" kind of thing.
Right.
And that's when I had to get up to change my pants.
By the way, I think this actually may have broken a wall, but you could correct me on this. They have this mysterious horror creature that they keep in the shadows for most of the movie.
Until the last 20 minutes.
And it actually spoke to the people.
That's what got me the most, is when it spoke, because if you look even at The Conjuring, the nuns area, the old man, it wasn't done except through possession or writings.
Right.
This was actually talking to people, and it wasn't just the shadow. There were a couple scenes where you actually see these white globes that were like Diana's eyes.
And we're talking full sentences here. It's not like they sat down and had a cigar and a nice talk. But at the same time, this is a lot more than you'll ever see. That kind of in the shadows, we're never going to show it to you scarecrows, actually interacting with the characters in the movie, and it builds on the psychology that scares you so damn much.
And I think that's what kind of creeped me out the most, because it reminds me a lot of Sadako from the Japanese version of The Ring. You had that whole kind of the silhouette a little bit. You didn't actually see the character, and the less you see in a horror movie or a horror video game, the more it's going to make you freak out, because your mind is going to start filling in these gaps. And I think it wasn't until the last 20 minutes when you see more physical evidence of Diana, the less you know about it, the creepier it's going to be.
Yeah. Until they got to a certain point where I honestly thought she got a little less scary for a while, and I wonder if that was built into it.
The basement scene?
Yeah.
I think to some degree, because you don't want to make it seem like this creature's immortal. You want to have some sort of personification of it.
Right.
Even the nun in Conjuring 2.
Yeah. So they built some story behind the creature to almost humanize the creature. You get to a point where they almost figure out, oh, we figured out a way we're going to get this creature, and then, oh, I'm sorry, we're pulling that back away from you again. Nightmare creature all over again. It's going to start killing people now.
Yeah, but that wasn't until the end, so you still had this plot build-up. And then I love this part at the end with the cop with the gun and the flashlight when like he's shooting at her and she disappears every time you see the muzzle flash and then she appears right afterwards. The last 30, mind you, this is only an hour and a half movie, so in the first hour you're getting kind of a slow build up, like you're going through foreplay, and then when you get to the last 30 minutes, that's when like the action really happens. But it's done so in such a good way that you don't feel like you're getting bored.
Right. Not once was the pee coming out of me bored whatsoever.
That's what that ammonia smell was like.
Yeah. I am so sorry for the Village's movie theater. I am... God.
How many times did the guy in front of us get up to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
At least 3 times.
So either that guy was going to film prostate pill commercials in between, or he was actually having the pee scared out of him by force.
It seriously, I mean, that's what the movie does to us. I mean, yeah, like I said, there are jump scares to it, but it's not like you're expecting it. There are no expectations to this movie.
Right. These are immersive jump scares once you're in there. It's not something where it's just hit you and you could see it coming, kind of, that kind of stuff.
This is not the Tinder of horror movies. It's not hit it then quit it.
It's psychological stuff that keeps building throughout the movie. It just keeps going.
Which was kind of rough because Friday night I went to go to a friend's birthday party, got back kind of late, and I'm kind of wide awake because it was late and I had to get up early to go out to Tampa. And I'm lying in bed, I turn off the light, I'm thinking, and one of the cars was parking outside my apartment window, and I was like, oh my God. This was like, holy crap, what the Nelly is going on here? And then I just realized after the fact, boom. But, I mean, it's something, it's hard to describe, but you really have to let yourself get immersed on it. It's just the way it is. And James Wan pulls it off to a T. I mean, there's no other way around it. And, I mean, you got to look at it from an outside perspective. Like I said, there's just no, what the hell is going on? Okay, that's really kind of creeping me out a little bit. There's a really freaky shadow going on over there. And there you go, ladies. Whoa! Holy! Whoa!
Geez, sorry, I was just getting ready for Comic-Con.
Jesus,
you like
dude.
this wig?
You got
pretty
an Edward
awesome.
Scissorhands thing going on here. All right, get your ass back over here. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me while I take this drink.
So those kind of scares, they really work on you.
Mm-hmm. And that's just the kind of thing that you have here. You heard it from Neosonic first. But the plot-wise, you kind of know what's happening, but the characters are what really drive it home.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Rebecca at the end of it, because she started out as the dick. I mean,
she was just this person that you've seen so many times that you would love to make fun of, and by the end of it, you're rooting for her as, oh my God, they have built up the perfect female revenge against the monster character.
not even just revenge, like, you find out she has a heart.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that kind of really drove it was Boy Toy. He reminds me of just like, well, he reminds me of myself to some degree.
Right.
But this whole...
Of course, he reminds me of myself, too, because I, too, am McConaughey's twin brother.
Well, you have the looks, I have the personality. But yeah, I keep thinking throughout this movie, because he's building this whole thing like, I'm not going to go anywhere, you're stuck with me, if I'm going to leave, you have to tell me I'm going to leave.
Right.
I keep thinking he's going to die at the end. Like,
yeah, they kept marginalizing the guy over and over.
Yeah, but like when they finally hit the agreement, like, yeah, our relationship has definition to it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh crap, he's gonna pull a Sean Bean. Like, I seriously thought he was gonna be the Sean Bean that's been like he was gonna die.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, and I think that's awesome because you have him being the good boyfriend, whatever. You have her actually having a heart behind her ribcage, and you've got Son Brother, who actually is growing up, and they all face their fears together.
Right.
But tell me that you did not expect the ending. I mean, I really did see it coming. Just the verbiage, because Maria Bello keeps talking to Diana and being like...
It killed me that they made it way too specific with her dialogue right at the end. That really hurt it for me. I think they could have just kept that a silent scene, practically, and just let it play out.
Oh, you mean her final exposition before that happens?
That would have been a perfect way out on that. Don't say anything, just let it happen and let people think about it.
Yeah, but you do have to admit, though, after that scene happens, the falling action before the credits, it really did a good job.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
That was really good.
The way that it built the tension, the way that tension builds, it grips you in. It's not something where you're like, oh, this was going to happen.
I think it could have shaved off a few minutes at the end. I don't think the cop scene was relevant, per se, other than the fact for prop placement.
When they put the cops in there and they make them seem like bumbling idiots.
They really had the Gomer Pyle thing going on. But I mean,
well, I'm going to stop these ghosts for you.
I mean, it really was almost like Resident Evil-ish. Like, halt! Halt! Nope, they're going to get dragged away. You'd figure if your bullets don't harm a shadow demon, now's the good time to run.
Yeah, this might as well have been Star Trek and they had red shirts on.
Yeah, but no one's performing a C-section on a Gorn. That was... It was octuplets. Let me tell you, those little suckers can bite. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing Star Trek Beyond tomorrow. But...
Am I?
Yes. But
I do it too.
Hey.
Pretty good.
Yeah. But, I mean... If you want a good horror movie, like an actual suspense with really...
I wasn't wearing that wig.
Or really creepy, something that looks like something out of Stan Bush's The Touch. But I mean, if you want a good horror movie that's not like a gore film, like if you're looking for something that David Cronenberg, John Carpenter, Lucio Fulci, or Dario Argento did, this is not the flick for you. This movie has pacing, this movie has character development, this movie has pretty much everything you're looking for in a very good old school 90s horror film. Like when horror was actually good. Like even Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro had pacing to it. Yeah, and that was the last movie I shit my pants in.
Yeah. Oh, to be a mobster in that movie. Sorry, Robert De Niro.
Except he was the devil.
Yeah.
And he did a damn good Lucifer. But...
Well, yeah.
So, I mean... This is something you really should see. Even if you don't like horror movies, you should see this. Just because it gives you that fight or flight thing, and it's a short film. It's only 88 minutes long. I mean, it's the same time length as frickin' Medea, alright?
Right. If you want to screw up your sleep for the longest period of time for the shortest investment, this is your option. This is the movie you want to see. 6 months, and all you had to do is watch it for a little less than 90 minutes.
It's really that good. I mean, I know some horror people that want to go see it. And frankly, I would love to see a Loma Grill, because then you can drink while you're watching it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun to spit out. Oh, God, even more whiskey's on the floor.
But I liked it a lot, and it doesn't spoil the fact that, James Wan is still a very good horror producer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to see more of this. I mean, maybe not this per se, but something very similar to it. The whole demon can't be harmed except for certain things.
Right, good point. I don't know if I want to see this again because it was so scary.
Oh, I'm going to pre-order this shit on Amazon.
Is this going to be your nightcap every night now?
Well, if I'm feeling backed up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good cure for constipation.
Absolutely.
So, if you want to go see it, awesome. If not, well, then sucks to be you. That's our take, and we're sticking to it.
Cheers.
And that's why we're not really giving away too many plot points, because we want to just give you enough exposure so you can see it.
Darn it, I thought this was the one where we gave away all the plot points.
Well, no, that's later on.
Oh.
Yeah, your loss. So, that being in mind, I'll have a review coming up in a couple days for Star Trek Beyond, and I'll be dragging your ass into more films later on. I'm thinking Secret Life of Pets later.
Meow, matey.
Hey. Alright, meow. So, in that in mind, enjoy your
Did you just say meow?
Am I saying meow? Do I look like a cat to you, boy?
No.
So, that being in mind... God. That being in mind, y'all enjoy your Sunday, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Alright? Peace.
Cheers.